Hey YouTube, it's Tech Savvy Solution here, and I just ordered the iPhone 5C and it has arrived in the mail today. So I'm going to go ahead and give you guys an unboxing of this phone as well as a review and a first look at it. So we're going to open this up right here. It's a pretty neat package, came in the mail. And just FYI for you guys who are thinking of pre-ordering, or not pre-ordering, but ordering it from the internet, signature is required unless you pre-sign ahead of time online if you're not able to receive it when you're not home. Right, so I'm gonna take this out and I'll put the box and stuff away. Alright, and once we remove the packaging, we're left with just this small package which contains the iPhone 5C. And if you hold it in your hand, it's really a comfortable fit. I'm not going to spend too much time going over it, but just a quick comparison to the previous iDevice packaging. We have here the packaging from the iPod Touch 5, and if you just have a look at the edges on here, it's quite different from what we have on the iPhone. We have this like rounded shape. It's nice. Okay, that's enough dwelling on this, but I just thought I'd point it out to you guys. And then now, let's go ahead and like peel this back. There's a little arrow tab to show you how to open up this thing so you don't look like a fool on camera or anything. So, there you go. We'll put this away. Alright, and then you go ahead and take the cover off like this. And here's the part where like I usually mess up in these unboxing videos. You take the iPhone out and you have this like weird plastic thing attached to it to keep it in place. So what you do is you put your fingers along the edges over here, not touching the phone, but just along here on both sides. Then you press with your thumbs on either side of the screen, or of the plastic. And then you kind of go like this, like you're gonna pop it out. And it makes like a terrifying noise, and you're like, oh my god, I'm gonna like break my iPhone. But it does the job, and it removes the phone from this plastic thing. And conveniently, if you just take a look at what Apple's got here, you have this mechanism that just peels the screen protector off from the phone, and it'll stick to here like so. So you have like, oh my gosh, I have two iPhones. Not really, but it's pretty cool. It's a nice touch. Alright, so I'm gonna just put the iPhone off to the side. First off, oh my god, it feels awesome, but I'll save that part just for a little later, and do the whole official business of showing you what's inside of this case. We have first the quick start guide, and that's basically it with the quick start guide. You have pictures of just one picture of the iPhone 5, and then 5C, and then just a diagram of what the buttons are. So we'll set that aside, and then go ahead and put this also to the side, and we have it looks like a micro SIM card tool, but it's actually a nano SIM card tool, and that's just another thing that potential iPhone buyers might want to know, is that first of all, you use it by sticking this inside of the hole that's on the side of the iPhone 5C, and then what happens is slot pops out, and you get not a micro SIM card, but a nano SIM card, which is just a tad bit smaller than a micro SIM card. Let me go ahead and give you a visual of what that looks like. You have here, which is a micro SIM card, and then this little slot is the slot for the nano SIM card. So, looks like this. And then this just goes back in here like that. So if you're thinking that, oh yeah, I'm gonna transfer from Nexus 4, which uses a micro SIM card, or most of the other smartphones on the market right now, and I'll just like stick that into my iPhone 5C, no big deal. Not quite as easy as that sounds. You might need to get a nano SIM card cutter, which I believe they're sold on eBay, but I haven't checked in a long time. Or you can go to your carrier and request a different SIM card. So that aside, let's go ahead and just take a look at everything else that's inside. We have the power block, of course, and then a nice set of the next generation earpods, which came out with the iPhone 5. And then, of course, in this iteration, we have just a volume rocker for incoming calls and a microphone. and then the lightning cable. So pretty standard stuff. And then I forgot to show you guys on the back of here. Put this back. We have our notorious Apple stickers, so you can show your Apple pride wherever you go. Whatever. Some people dig it. Stickers are fun. So let's go ahead and put this aside, and then let's just give you a physical tour of the iPhone 5C. So first off, I want to go over like the physical characteristics of the iPhone 5C. The first thing you'll notice, of course, is it's in color, which I'm assuming the C stands for in iPhone 5C. And it's like, it's a glossy plastic finish, and it really does feel great in the hand. I mean, feels more solid than the previous iPhone that I've handled before. And just the fact that it's just, I don't know, it makes me happy because there's color. And I bring my scissors along just because coincidentally the greens almost match. It's, I don't know, I thought I'd put on the video, but put the scissors to the side. And I'm just gonna give you like really brief 360 view of the phone. You can see how thin it is. And then we look at the back. You have like the Apple logo, just says iPhone, and then you have your camera. And then of course your screen. And then we have like the volume rocker, and then this, whatchamacallit, the notification like silence switch is now just all plastic. So most of you guys might feel, I don't know, disconcerted just about like the whole fact that everything is all plastic. But really, everything blends in very well, and if this was any other material, I don't think it'd mesh well with the phone. So I'm not going to complain. I'm going to go ahead and power on the phone, so you can see. Let me just talk briefly about the iPhone 5C and what you're going to be expecting from this phone. So first off, if you've liked the iPhone 5 in terms of the speed, processing power, and just the day-to-day usability of it, you're going to like the iPhone 5C. Essentially, the iPhone 5C is supposed to replace the iPhone 5, so you're not going to be able to get like a discounted price or anything like in previous years when Apple discounts the previous model of the iPhone. But what you're going to get is like the iPhone 5C. The iPhone 5 is going to be discontinued, and then of course for the 4S you'll be able to get it free on contract. This is $99, I believe, on contract. And yeah, it like basically has all the same specs that you get from the iPhone 5, except you have iOS 7 preloaded, and then it's outfitted with a better front-facing camera. Alright, so I'm pretty sure most of you guys are like dying to see how iOS 7 is going to be like. If you haven't already gotten it on your device, just bear in mind that it has come out, so you can just try it out for yourself. But I'm going to go ahead and just like give you a quick overview of what's going on in this. First of all, these are two separate devices. I have my iPod Touch over my iPhone just because I don't feel like setting it up again, so I'm just going to keep it the way it is and show you what's up in iOS 7 on this device. They're both the same operating system. I just have on the iPod Touch. So if we go ahead and just take a look first, if I don't know if you can see the effect on screen, but there's like an optical illusion here where you have the icons seemingly floating above the wallpaper, and the iPod, or rather the iPhone, is using the gyroscope to sense where you're tilting the phone so that the icons kind of move over the wallpaper, or the wallpaper moves underneath the icons. So you get this kind of, I don't know how to call it, like a 3D effect. Just, it's really cool. It's subtle. If you notice it, you'll see the effect. And just take a look at some of the icons that are available here. And then let's go ahead and take a look at just each application here. So I have the calendar, and everything is just pretty much redesigned. We have the overall look and feel of it to be of a lighter color scheme, kind of along the lines of what Google is going for. Everything is now white. White is like the new black or something. So that's just a quick look at the calendar application. Alright, so here's the maps. Nothing special. but you can notice some subtle UI changes. And let's take a look at the weather. So it's a pretty cool interface, different from the card stack format from before. And then I'm going to spare you the other applications because you get a feel for what the color scheme is going for. Everything is quite light. But what is also new is if you double tap the home button, you get this new multitasking interface, which is really quite awesome. If any of you guys remember like the HP Pre series or even like the HP OS, WebOS, they have this card stack series and interface where you can just manage your running applications through this. So let's say, or no, I don't want to have this application open. So I'm going to go ahead and slide up and it'll delete it. And I don't want this, so I'm going to slide up, delete it. And, oh, cool. Here's a cat. I like cats. They're cool. Alright, and then, oops. Let's go ahead and double tap and it'll take you back to the interface. And let's see what else. Now I want to go back to the calendar, and it's pretty instantaneous as to the things that you can do with this interface. It's fast. You can switch between applications pretty quickly. Here's my Spotify. I'll go back. And then one more feature that's pretty key in iOS 7 is this whole like notification center. So just you saw me swipe up and I have access to my quick toggles for airplane mode, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, do not disturb mode, and my favorite, auto rotate lock on or off. And that's like my biggest pet peeve, having to navigate the settings menu in order to turn this feature on or off. But now we have this included in the quick toggles that you get from swiping up from the bottom of the screen. And then we also have music controls, so I can go ahead, play my music, some Haydn. And pause it, just like that. And then just swipe down to get rid of it. You can also swipe down to get your notifications. And now it's now sorted in tabs. So you have that. And yeah, it's pretty much like a pretty brief look at iOS 7, but these are the key features that you guys don't want to miss. Alright, so I have with me here three relatively popular devices. I have iPhone 5C, obviously here, and then last year's iPod Touch 5, and Nexus 4. So this is Google's flagship phone right now, before they released their new one. This has been out for about a year, but I haven't heard anything about Apple releasing yet another iPod Touch model, so we'll probably just have to wait just to see if they do. But yeah, and then of course we have the iPhone 5C. So I'm gonna go ahead and just like give you a physical comparison between all three of these devices, so you can see how the iPhone 5C stacks up, like literally. So let's go ahead and stack these so you can see the thickness difference between each of these three. You can see that here it is. The thickness is more similar between the Nexus 4 and the iPhone 5C. Of course, the iPod Touch 5 is quite thin. And just to keep in mind, just bear in mind that these devices are all relatively thin for what they do. None of these are monstrous phones or anything. If you look at the top, first, let's take the two Apple devices together. You can see that the screen is very much a fingerprint magnet. But if we take a look, you can see that the footprint is just about the same. Same screen dimensions. It's still 4-inch screen for both devices. And then of course front-facing camera on both. and then just take a look at the home button. I believe the one in iPod Touch is slightly smaller than that of the iPhone 5C. And then if we take a look on the side, we'll see that, of course, the color is painted over each of these buttons, so it meshes quite well. We look at the bottom here, and then, well, I kind of screwed up my iPod Touch. But you look at the number of pins that each of these has, and this one has 5, and this one has 4. And then, of course, we have the microphone for the phone. And then on the side here, just for the nano SIM card. And then on the top, you have that. Alright, and then now let's go ahead and compare the two flagships. Well, I would consider this like a pseudo flagship, just because it's the newest iteration of the iPhone. But we have right now the two main phones, except for the iPhone 5S, of course, because that one's like Apple's real flagship. But anyways, two power players. Okay, so we have on the front side of this, obviously a bigger screen on the Nexus 4. If we go ahead and take a look at just how it stacks up, it's quite a bit bigger. And I found that with typing on the keyboards, the experience is more comfortable on the Nexus 4 just because, I don't know, it's like a wider area of contact, so that I found myself on the iPhone 5 that I like frequently mistype things because my thumbs were pressing the wrong letters. But for seasoned device typers, you guys probably won't have any problems. So on this side, again, we have just buttons that you would expect, micro USB lightning port, and then on the side, relatively plain. And as you can see, again, thickness is about the same. It's just a quick physical overview of these two phones. The backs are quite different as well. First off, between the two iDevices, the material, of course, this is plastic. Can't see that. Right, this is plastic, and then this is like a brushed metal finish. It's not even brushed, I would say. It's a nice matte finish. It's a nice touch. And then Nexus, you have a glass panel, cracks easily, so you might want to bear that in mind. And then here we have the camera placements. And yeah, that's just a look at all three of these devices. You can see how the iPhone 5C stacks up. Let's take a look at the displays of each of them. I guess there's no fear here because this is just displaying white, but just take a look. See the viewing angles of the iPhone 5C? And here the iPod Touch 5. And let's just take a look at the Nexus 4. Pretty sweet for all three of these devices. Alright, so that concludes the unboxing and first look at the new iPhone 5C. If you have any questions, please ask in the comment section below. And if you want to see more of this kind of stuff, please rate, comment, and subscribe. And I hope to see you guys next time on the next video review or tutorial. Thanks, guys.